Listen, you can build your NBA franchise around any NBA player for the next 10 years. You get them on your roster to be your franchise cornerstone for the next 10 years. No salary. They are free. It's a 10-year free contract. Any player in the world that you can choose. Who would be your top player? That's what this episode is about. If you watch the Cajun Cardboard channel, I want you to consider using the PWCC Marketplace. It's a great place to buy sports cards, and you can even support the channel through my affiliate link, which is conveniently located in the YouTube description to this very video you're about to watch. Pause the video, get into the YouTube description, look in the top right of the channel, and you're going to see a link to PWCC. Save that link in your browser, and now you are able to buy sports cards on the PWCC Marketplace just like I do, and at the same time support the Cajun Cardboard channel. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with another episode of NBA Past and Present with the Grindfather, Jonathan Pixley. Coach Pixley, welcome back to the show. We got a cool topic today.
Yep, excited about this one. This will be, I think this will get people's wheels turning a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close, right? We don't want to talk about predictions for the 2023-24 season because we're not quite close enough yet. We don't have full closure on some stuff with Lillard and Harden and things like that. And all those pieces haven't come together. People are still in fantasy football mode, but if you're a basketball lifer and you're a diehard basketball guy, you're going to like this because it's a hypothetical. We are an NBA GM. We're each an NBA GM, and we've got free reign. We can literally pick any NBA basketball player, and we get that player to start our NBA team for the next 10 years on a free contract, okay? So this would be the first player on your team. This would be the guy. It would be free. It would not count against the salary cap. Their current contract just evaporates. Age matters, obviously. Off the court stuff matters, obviously. How they play matters. What position they play matters. How they interact with others. Do they play well with others? Did it make other people better? All that stuff matters. So it's just the real player. Like, we're taking the real player. There's no other hypotheticals other than the fact that we're a GM with unlimited money and it doesn't count against your salary cap.
Right. And the good thing is, you know, how you set this up about there's some things that are left kind of unsettled for the NBA season. That's irrelevant for this. It's completely
for this. Yeah, we're wiping the rosters clean, and we're the GM with the first draft pick. It's almost like the NBA is doing a redraft of everybody. We're throwing them all back into a pool. You can have anybody you want. You get them for 10 years. And so what that's going to do, Jonathan, is it's going to, and you know this, if you've gone through this exercise, is that you may have the best player in the world, might be 29 years old.
Yep.
And then you might have an absolute can't-miss phenom that's 22 years old. Right. Well, that guy might have 10 years of prime, but your 29-year-old, who we know what they can do, and they may win another title, but they may only win one more title or two. These other guys may win 4, 5, 6. We don't know, right? And so it's about wins. It's about titles. It's about putting butts in the seats and all of that stuff. So it's a tough balance, and it caused me a little bit of anxiety. This was much tougher on me than our list of 10 firemen and plumbers that don't look like they belong in the NBA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. And I think, you know, again, I think you've been pretty clear about this, but I've got some guys, a couple guys on my list that, you know, they may have 4 years left of super prime, right? But 6 years left of really good years. And I may take them ahead of some guys who are definite, got full 10 years.
Yeah.
We also had to take into account, if you're going to be real about this, you got to take into account injury history. You got to take into account off the court issues, all that stuff. So
all that stuff.
Yep.
All that stuff. That's a tough balance. You get 4 years of the best player in the world, or 6 years or 7 years, but you get 10 years of this other guy who might be the 11th best player in the world. Which one gives you a better chance to win more games, win more titles, go to the playoffs, stuff like that. All right, so here's how we have to start it. Everybody knows we're honorable mention lovers, right? We love to do honorable mentions. This is going to be lightning round, okay? I am going to read off a list of maybe 15 to 18 names that I have in my honorable mention. If I name somebody that you have in your top 20, just stop me.
Yep.
And that's it. We're not going to talk in detail about this because 20 is already going to be long enough. Yep. Benedict Mathurin, 21 years old.
No.
Jabari Smith, 20 years old.
No.
Shadon Sharp, 20 years old.
No.
Michael Porter Jr., 25 years old.
Nope.
Anthony Simons, 24 years old.
Nope.
Franz Wagner, 22 years old.
Nope.
Tyrese Maxey, 23 years old.
Yep.
You've got Maxey in. Okay, so let me highlight Maxey. That's the first place where we're
tough,
not on the same page. And look,
it was tough.
We're splitting hairs. These are good players. I mean, I just named a lot of guys with a lot of – I mean, dude, if you told me Franz Wagner at age 33 had a title as the second best player on the Magic and made 2 or 3 All-NBA teams, I would be like, okay, sure, maybe, I guess. He's pretty freaking good. He's 6'10". He's a guard. He's damn good, man. He's like a Peja Stojakovic that can dribble.
Every one of those guys that you called before Maxey was on my honorable mention list.
Okay. So let's keep going. Let's not waste too much time. We'll talk more about Maxey because he's on your list.
Yep.
Jalen Brunson, 27.
Oh, yeah, he's on my list.
Did not make my list.
Yeah.
Did not make my list. The point guard dilemma is gonna be interesting. We're gonna talk in detail about that. Bam Adebayo, 26.
Not on my list.
Not on my list. Karl Anthony Towns, 27. We're naming all pros, guys that have already made all NBA teams.
Well, Cat's not on
I know Towns not. If he's not on mine, he's definitely not on yours. You're a Towns hater. Lauri Markkanen.
Yes, made my list.
Did not make my list.
That's shocking.
Could be persuaded to put him on my list. Donovan Mitchell, age 27.
Made my list and higher than I originally thought he would go.
This is going to be really interesting. Domantas Sabonis, age 27.
Did not make my list.
Did not. So that right there shows us you chose Mitchell over Sabonis. I chose neither.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose between the two, it would be tough, man.
Yeah.
It'd be really tough. I mean, these are going to be tough decisions. Trae Young, 25.
Made my list, and that'll be a discussion. It'll be interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it will. It will. Darius Garland, age 23.
Wow, I can't believe he's not on your list. He didn't make my list either.
Okay. That was not easy. We'll talk through it. Chet Holmgren, age 21.
Did not make my list. It was
Didn't
tough.
make my list. Here's the deal. If you told me he led the league in block shots 8 years in a row, I'd be like, I see it. It's possible.
Right.
He's 7'16". He might do it. Josh Giddey, age 20.
Did not make my list. Yeah.
He didn't make my list either. If he had shot 40% from 3 this year, he would have made my list.
Yeah, probably so.
Scoot Henderson, 19.
Ooh, didn't make my list.
Have you watched him?
It was close. Yeah.
Have you watched him, dude?
I struggled with it. I really struggled with it.
Yeah. Okay, so no Scoot for either of us. Alperen Şengün, age 21.
Did not make my list. I struggled with that one too.
Let's talk for 2 seconds about Alperen Şengün. Is he a top 7 center in the NBA?
Well, call him out for me.
I don't know. Embiid, Jokic, Towns, Adebayo.
Is AD a center? He is.
Not. I don't. If you count him as a center, okay. Like he's better than Brook Lopez.
Yeah.
He's better. Is he better than Porzingis? Is he better than Porzingis right now?
Ooh, I'm not going there. Not yet. I'm not going there.
We need to look at it. He's not a good defender at all, so he might not be better because there's 2 sides of the ball. All right, enough. But he's there. He's a guy that we've got our eye on.
Yes.
More to the story with Alperen Şengün. I expect.
If he didn't play with the Rockets, he might.
Oh God, here we go. How about this? This is going to be surprising for you. The last of my honorable mention, and I did not put my honorable mention in any order. The last one I'm going to name is Scotty Barnes, age 22.
Yeah, he didn't make my list either. And honestly, I was a bigger Barnes fan than you were going into the season, and I have since fallen off a little bit.
Well, he didn't have a great season. I saw a humongous regression offensively, and I don't know if it's just Nurse or maybe the way the team was constructed or maybe just uncertainty about his role, because I think they played him like as the point forward. I know Van Vliet was there, but they played a lot through him where his sole job was to distribute, and it just didn't go well because he found himself with the ball on the perimeter a lot with an 8-foot gap between him as a defender, and he just couldn't make any shots. He just couldn't.
I don't know what he does exactly. I think.
I'm
not sure he knows what he does exactly.
Well, he could be an insanely talented version of like a Draymond Green or Ron Artest, one of those kind of point forward creator guys. But he's got to shoot it.
You did not just call Ron Artest a point forward.
Well, just guys like you. I mean, Ron Artest had the ball in his hands sometimes. I mean, yeah, trust me, he's more skilled. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking of like
Draymond Green's good. Yeah, that's a good one.
He's significantly more skilled than Draymond Green. I'm just saying that ability to like be the biggest guy on the court, but also play the point where you got. I don't know. I just see creator ability in Scotty Barnes. He's got to be able to shoot a little bit, or he's just going to be Draymond Green. You know, not as good a defensive Draymond Green. That's it for my honorable mention.
Okay. All right, we're going 20 to 1.
Let's just go. Let's go.
Okay.
We'll start with you.
Since I had Maxey was 20 for me.
Let's just talk about. I mean, are any of these guys in your top 10?
No.
Okay, good.
Well, hold on. One of them was 10 for me.
Okay, it's got to be Donovan Mitchell.
It was Donovan Mitchell, and again, I have
Jonathan. He's short. His game is premised on athleticism, and he's 27.
I understand that, but again, I'm basing it.
You get 7 years.
Yeah, okay. I'm basing it on. I think he's got 5 to 6 really good NBA years left in him, and I understand that I'm leaving 4 on the table. And like as I look at the list, I'm going to be honest with you. I probably should have bumped him down on the list.
Yeah,
but that's where he was for me when
we're going to have. Yeah, that's a big disparity for us because he's not even.
Yeah.
Oh, he'd probably be in my next 5 in my top 25. But I figure with him, the difference between him and say, a Giddey or a Scoot Henderson or Darius Garland is he's had a long time to do it, and he hasn't done it.
And that's where I got stuck, and that was my issue. Like if you look, so you look at the people you have highlighted. I'll just go ahead and call it out. Maxey was 20 for me. Trae Young was 19, and Markkanen was 18. Okay, so when I did this, I had Trae Young 19 ahead of Maxey because I'm unsure as to what Maxey's going to be. My biggest struggle with having Trae Young on the list is I do feel like I know what he's going to be.
We know what he's going to – we know.
Right? But at the same time, I'm not sure that these other guys who are on my honorable mention list like yours are ever going to be what Trae Young is right now. And
that's the other point. You're right.
Right. So, and you can't argue. I mean, the dude's 28 and 10 and, that's hard to do regardless of what era we're in. I don't think he plays winning basketball. I get that.
That's the issue. That's the issue. We've seen enough to know he's a defensive liability to the extreme. And I don't know if you spend your entire roster trying to cover up that hole. Yeah. I don't know if he exploits the other team offensively like a Steph Curry does with his gravity. I know he puts up the numbers, but I don't know if his gravity is to the same extent as a Kyrie Irving or a Steph Curry to where he overcomes that huge void on defense.
Yeah.
And it's not just he's bad; he's also unwilling. It would appear. You know what I mean?
Right. And if you go to okay, so for example, Mitchell was 10 on my list. Brunson was 14. Now, the only reason Brunson was 14 is because I think the dude's got 10 years left because of the way he plays, right?
Maybe.
I think he can affect winning even if he's not scoring it at the clip that he is right now, just because he's so smart and tough and all those things, right?
Yeah.
Now, 14, maybe pushing it a little bit. But again, are any of these dudes – and I know, look, we could definitely say, look, Brunson's really had 1.5 good years or a good year in some playoffs, right? I mean, that's it. But I just look at his game and go, the dude is so solid. Well, Mitchell's deal for me is simple. I know he wasn't good this past year, in the playoffs. But he's been really good in the playoffs in the past. And so
we've seen crazy shit, dude. It's going all the way back to the bubble. We've seen crazy stuff.
Right. And I'm not just talking about the bubble. He's been good outside the bubble for
I know.
Years in the playoffs too. So
But here's the deal. He's 27. He's made one All-NBA team.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I understand that. But again, I'm looking at it going, I've never been the biggest Donovan Mitchell fan in the world. I'm going to go ahead and admit right now as I look at my list, he's high. He's too high. Okay. But he belongs on the list, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is tough, dude. Because if you ask me, Scotty Barnes and Donovan Mitchell, you're giving Scotty Barnes 5 bonus years, basically. 5 years to rack up as many wins, all NBAs, playoff appearances, titles. Not that any of these guys are guaranteed a title, but All right, so who's number 20? Let's get cranking. We're 13 minutes in. Number 20 on your list. Anybody watching, comment, let us know. Are we crazy? I should say, am I crazy? The Grindfather's got 5 of these guys in his top 20. I don't have any of these 5 highlighted guys in my top 20.
Right.
I could 100% understand an argument having any of these guys 15 to 20. I cannot see any of these guys being higher than 15. And Mitchell's the one where you said you'd probably concede a few spots, maybe. Who's your number 20? Let's start there.
Maxey was 20 for me.
Okay, I get it, man, because look here, and we'll just start revealing mine. Maxey is your 20. My number 20, I have Evan Mobley, and you know I'm not a huge fan of.
You did that. I can't believe you did that.
I did it only because, again, we can't always hyper-focus on offense. We have to take into account some of the defensive side of it, and I think he is going to end up being a really damn good defensive player. I don't think he's defensive player of the year level shit like a lot of people are talking, like Elijah Wan and Tim Duncan and all that crap. Yeah. But I think he's going to be a really good player defensively, and he's 22. And so when you compare him to, could you tell me Scotty Barnes instead of Evan Mobley? Sure. Could you tell me Darius Garland, his teammate, instead of Mobley? Sure. Yeah. I can see both of those. That's why I haven't gotten to the point. I'll let you know when I get to a player on my list where I'm like, no matter what, absolutely, this guy is in my top, 15. Sure. I think around the 14 mark is where I'm like, we can't disagree on these guys. You know what I mean? Like right here, this is great, man. And there's going to be people screaming at the screen, listening to his talk, saying, "You're a nut. Have you seen Scoot Henderson?" Yeah, I have.
Right. Not in an NBA
but
game.
I haven't.
Right. Not in an NBA game. I haven't.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, people were talking about Marcus Smart coming out of college. People were talking about Lonzo Ball coming out of college. People were talking about Markelle Fultz coming out of college. The same way they're talking about Scoot Henderson. I know that's hard to believe now, knowing what we know. And again, Lonzo's deal was different, was injury, and then Fultz, same kind of deal. But, it's quite possible that Scoot Henderson just ends up being Jordan Clarkson. It's quite possible. I'm not saying it's likely, and I want nothing but the best. And I'll be honest with you, I did watch some clips. He looks frightening. He looks frightening, and he looks like he's already got it figured out. Like he looks like he knows I'm the one who needs the ball. Please, can I have that ball and let me just create everything for everybody? If he can shoot it, which is the big question mark. If he can shoot it, he's special. Yep. All right, Mobley's my 19. Give me your 19. I mean, Mobley's my 20. Give me your 19.
19 was Trae Young for me.
Okay.
And again, I know what he is, but I wonder if these other guys will be that. Ooh, wow, he's low. See, I was thinking I should have. Anyhow, go ahead.
I've got injury concerns.
Okay.
I haven't ever seen him win, or I'm not really sure if he cares about winning. I just don't know yet, Jonathan. He's never played in a meaningful game.
Yeah.
And I'm not counting Chino Hill's high school games as meaningful. I don't know enough. And so he falls into the Mobley Barnes, Scoot Henderson category. We've seen enough to know, dude, if the dude clicks and if the dude has it here, he's really, really good. And he would be an awesome we're kind of picking franchise cornerstones. He'd be an awesome franchise cornerstone because we know he will make everybody around him better, and he will put butts in the seats.
Right. I'm taking all that into account, and I'm also taking into account the fact that I think the dude loves to play basketball. I really do.
I do too.
Winning is different. I get that. I understand.
That's not the same thing as,
You're right.
Yeah. I mean, I really love to play basketball.
Right.
But I'm probably not the win at all cost guy. let me see if I can get my numbers, and get back to the house and flip on NBA 2K and play some video games.
Yeah, I hear you. All right.
Give me your 18.
18 was marketing for me. And really only 1 year of what he did, but basically it's the first opportunity he's had to do it, and he did it. So
he made All NBA, did he not?
He did. I think he was second or third team, but he did make an All NBA for sure.
I think he got third, but he deserved second. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Yeah,
he didn't.
Sure third team.
He didn't.
Make an All-NBA team? Really?
No.
Huh. Interesting. He should have made third team last year.
Dude, he was 25-9 on 50, 40, 88.
Ooh, yeah.
Look at his PER. 22.
How did he not make a team? Are you kidding? That's ridiculous. Anyhow.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Who was yours? Who was your 18? Oh, Jamal Murray.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, why in God's name do I not have Markkanen in there? He's 26. He's the same age. I got these guys in there because of the extra 4 years of prime. Markkinen will finish his 10-year for my mythical franchise as a 36-year-old. These other guys will finish as a 32-year-old, right in the middle of.
But his game translates with age, I think.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Jamal Murray. I have Jamal Murray at 18. You have him higher, or do you have him in your honorable mention?
I have him a lot higher, and I really was. I'm basing it a lot on the finals performance last year. He has it. I know you're concerned about injuries, and you should be. I get it, 100%.
Well, I'm just concerned because he's more than anybody. Same ACL again. He's done.
I know, and I understand that.
He's done forever. Like that's the end of it.
Right. It's fair.
Not that I would wish it on him or suspect it, and I'm definitely not the guy who's like, he's injury prone, his knees are bad. No, he had a knee injury, his knees aren't bad. Like, could it happen? Yes, but it's not. I don't think it's any more likely to happen. It's probably less.
Where would he fall? Where would he fall if no knee injury for you?
I still wouldn't have him. I don't think higher than 14.
Wow. Okay. All right.
I
think he is a freaking killer stud.
I do too. But he's also not a great defensive player, Jonathan. And
he is a winner. He wins. He wants to win.
Well, he's on the team with the best player in the world, so that's 100%. A big part of winning. Is 100%. Michael Porter Jr. a winner?
No, I think Murray affected winning. I don't think Michael Porter Jr. affected winning.
Well, he affected it, but again, let's reiterate: he's on the team with the best player in the world. That's a big part of being a winner.
Who's also one of the best passers of all time. But if you looked at what he did on basically hide and seek, dribble handoff action last year, a ton where he was you saw it. So
he fits great with Jokic. He may not, in my opinion, be as good as some of the other point guards on the list, but he fits so good with Jokic. Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, I could see slotting Murray up, but I could not have him in my top probably 14 or 15. We'll talk about
I've got him higher. Anyhow, go ahead.
All right, let's go, because that means you're going to have somebody a lot lower. Who's your 17?
So 17 is going to it's going to piss some people off, and it's going to shock some people because he could have been anywhere from 1 to here for me. Okay.
So this is going to be Embiid or somebody.
No, this is Wembanyama. Because
shit, really?
And it's strictly, and I'll be honest with you, you're the one that talked me into it, because when he first came out and I'm watching highlights and I'm going, I got sucked into it. I did. Now, he could still end up being all of that and way more. And then I look like a complete freaking idiot by doing this. But I have to see it first. Now,
you're hedging risk. That's fine, dude. As a GM,
yep.
Sometimes people hedge risks. You're choosing Anthony Bennett, and that's fine. You're going to choose Anthony Bennett to make sure you get.
I definitely would not do that. I'm just saying that
you're choosing Danny Manning, right? You're going to choose Danny Manning over Kobe Bryant. I know what you're doing.
So my problem is this: and you know this. I've always been this way, and you've always been the other way. You love to look at ceilings.
I do.
Right? You do, okay? And so you base a lot of what you talk about on ceilings. I base a lot of what I do on the eye test of what I think, I've seen you do, and then, okay, there's a gap to your ceiling, but you'll take a blank canvas and go, I really am banking on this.
Well, and again, we are analyzing it the same way. Yeah. It's just I place more of an emphasis on the potential unknown, and you like to know, you like a bird in hand. You like to know, well, he's already done it. I've already seen it. Right. And I think that's why you had Trae Young in there.
Correct.
You've seen enough to know you're going to get 8 out of 10 for the next 10 years.
Yep.
But I'm looking for somebody that can take me to 9.25 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 or 10 out of, or even 10 out of 10. I've got Ingram at 17. You have Ingram in honorable mention?
Didn't make my list. I mean, he was on my honorable mention, but he didn't make my 20 though.
You're telling me right now, being maybe 3 years different, you like Tyrese Maxey better than Brandon Ingram?
There's no real way for me to express this clearly. There's something about Ingram's situation that I don't trust. I don't know really what it is. I just look at it and go, I think he's mega talented. I do, man. I just think he's had enough time already and he's put up some numbers and all that. I look at Maxey in a different light as, look, I'm actually kind of going with your angle, right? Kind of blank canvas, but
we're flipping. Flip-flop.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. I mean, he had a great year last year. There's no question about it. Outside of playing 45 games, which I do have injury issues also. I'm concerned about that.
Dude, I mean, he's got Markkanen's numbers.
In 45 games.
Well, okay, but
I'm just saying injuries. I get it. Look, and at the same time,
you're right, Jonathan. You're right. I didn't realize it was that pronounced. 59, 52, 62, 61, 55, 45. That's not an anomaly. That's a trend.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't take it into account, and maybe it's because I have hyper focused that he's healthy right now.
Yeah.
I'm expecting, if there's one guy on that team from an injury perspective that I'm worried about, it's not him. But maybe it should be him. Shit, that's not a lot of games. You're right. He's playing about 60% of the season. Right. Most seasons, 50 to 60%. All right, Ingram. I got Ingram right there with Jamal Murray. I had a hard time splitting hairs with those. I was confident I had both of those guys over LaMelo and Mobley because I've seen so much more already.
Yeah, I get it.
For a longer duration. But yeah, you're right. Injury risk on Ingram and Murray does have a big red flag from one ACL. But I mean, who's 16 for you?
16 for me. Speaking of injuries, was Zion.
Okay.
And the only reason he's that low is because of everything that's happened to date. If we base it on talent, he'd probably be 1, 2, or 3, but he's not. So
if your concern for Zion is a big pie and it's 100%, in attitude and porn star issues and laziness and diet is one factor of the 100%, and just straight up the dude's injury prone, like physically the dude's injury, I'm worried about injuries is another factor. How much of that pie is made up of each of those? Is it 50-50 or is it primarily injury concerns?
Primarily injury concerns, because now, but aren't the two linked? Like your lack of discipline.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite, yes. I mean, your work ethic permeates,
so,
if you have a poor work ethic and you make bad off the court decisions and you prioritize, chubby porn stars, and partying and eating bad on, over working hard, it is going to lead to, I would think, a proliferation of injuries. Yes.
Yes. One would think. So that's the only reason he's not low for me. And you'll see. And look, Jaylen Brown is higher for me on my list. You'll see.
I love Jaylen. I love Jaylen. And I've watched, we've talked about this for years. I feel like me and my card collector friends, back when I used to be able to prospect before they started printing the shit out of everything, I would always go back and forth between Jaylen and Ingram. Same, not really. I mean, they're essentially the same position. Wing is wing. So they're shaped different. I get all that. But Jaylen and Ingram, they're the same draft class. They're both 2016 rookies. They play the same position. Jaylen has been in a perfect situation from day one. Ingram got, wasted with the Lakers. Then they chased the Anthony Davis deal, and now he can't get a full roster together. Part of it being his fault because he's not always healthy. I've always had those two guys intertwined. And I think right now, Jaylen, certainly, I think most GMs, if we're doing a fantasy thing, would take Jaylen over Ingram. You didn't have Ingram in your top 20 at all?
I didn't have him in my top 20. He was on my honorable mention. Again, I just don't trust the situation.
Probably next 5 coming in. Yeah.
And look, the deal, with Jaylen Brown, what people probably don't know is there was a point where you had Jaylen Brown neck and neck with Jason Tatum, right? I mean, that early on, you really did. And
I'm still not sure. I'm not saying. Obviously, you haven't seen Tatum yet, so I'm gonna have Tatum over Brown. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure that if Jaylen Brown got his own team, he couldn't be better than Tatum. But I know, like, we're too far down the path for Jaylen Brown to be the alpha on this team because Tatum is the alpha. Maybe that's just me in denial, but it's not out of the question. If Jaylen Brown gets traded to the freaking Hornets or the Pistons, you might see a whole different stat line. Like, he may go absolutely bananas. I mean, he could be 30 a game. I don't have any idea. He can't dribble, but he can still go 30 a game.
He could be. I don't think he has a good feel for the game. I also don't think he would statistically be as good as Jason Tatum is on a good team.
Here's the other thing. He's not going to age as well as Tatum, right? Because his game is premised on physical prowess and bullying the shit out of people, which he does. And he's good at it, and he's explosive. But those things fade, and dribbling and shooting a basketball do not. Not that Jaylen Brown's a terrible shooter, but I would think from a skill perspective, most people would agree Tatum's the more skilled of the two players. Yes. And I guess a little bit taller too, right? Tatum's a lot taller than, an inch or two.
6'8", 6'9". Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's probably a good 6'9", I think.
Yeah.
Okay, number 15 for you.
15 for me, and you'll see how I linked them together, was Ja Morant. And the only reason he's that low, again, I'm just worried about the off-the-court stuff. I don't trust it. Like you said a couple episodes ago, it's one thing for it to happen once. Okay, that's great. And then a few weeks later, the same exact thing after, it just doesn't make any sense. So I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
I don't trust it either.
You take that away, he's in my top 5 to 8 probably. Okay,
you take it away, he's in my 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Again, defensive issues.
I know. But
and if we're talking about winning titles, we've talked about this on this channel before. We talk about it all the time. Go ahead and name all the NBA champion alphas that were small.
That's
Isaiah,
true. And that's it.
Kuzi. I mean,
yeah, but was he the alpha?
Was he? I don't know. Am I missing somebody?
He was the MVP, but Bill Russell was on the team.
Right.
Yeah.
Isaiah. And people are going to say Steph Curry. Well, Steph Curry's 6'4", 195.
Right. If not 210 now. I mean, he's put on some weight.
He looks good. Yeah. He's not little.
Right. He's not a little guy.
Ja Morant is little. Trae Young is little. Jalen Brunson is little. Steph Curry is not big by NBA standards, but he's 6'4". He's probably 6'4", 195, 6'4", 200.
And look, make sure that you qualify. People immediately are going to go to, well, what about Iverson? You said NBA champion.
Yeah, NBA champion. Iverson didn't win it. And maybe it was because he's 5'11", 165 pounds. Maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe he couldn't impose his will. I don't know. He did get that first game, though, against the Lakers. That was awesome.
Yes, yep.
I've got De'Aaron Fox at 15, Jonathan. Who'd you just say at 15?
Morant.
Ja. I've got his upside offensively in the way, Ja's tough, man. Ja's super talented. I've got De'Aaron Fox here. I think Ja's got a year on him, maybe 2. I think he's 23 or 24, maybe 24. We'll get to it in a second. But De'Aaron Fox at age 25, I like De'Aaron Fox better than Jalen Brunson. I like De'Aaron Fox better than Jamal Murray. I like De'Aaron Fox at the moment better than LaMelo Ball because I've seen tremendous progress, especially last year. If we pull up Fox last year, he really did finally figure it out. And it might just have been the fact that he finally had 3 or 4 guys around him that could do it, man. He made the All-NBA. He's an all-star. He was 25, 4, and 6 on 51, 32, which has to get better. We know that. And 78% free throws. That 78% free throw jump seems like a small deal, but it's a big deal because he's got the ability to get in the lane ad nauseum repeatedly over and over and over and make people's lives miserable. 21.8 PER. He's a good comparison with Brunson, man. That's just a tough.
He's not, though. When you talk
about he's better. Exact same PER.
Yeah.
Everything's better except he's better than Brunson, except his threes are not as good. His free throws are not as good. Everything else, his PER is
a lot higher. His ceiling's a lot higher than Jalen Brunson's.
You think so?
I do. And I'm not saying he will ever reach that necessarily. Right?
Brunson's 2 years older.
Yeah. So I had Fox ranked higher than that.
Okay, let's go. Who's 14
on my list? 14 was Jalen Brunson for me.
So you have Fox ahead of Ja Morant.
I do, strictly because of the off the court things.
Yeah, I understand. I was right there. This is the anomaly that I had struggled with. This is the guy I had trouble with. You don't have him in your top 20.
He didn't make it. He was. Let me see. He would have been 21 for me. He was 21, and because I look at it now. Here's my reasoning for this. Okay. First of all, big fall off in the second half of the season last year. Okay.
But rookie wall. Go on.
Right. Nonetheless, and I didn't really penalize him for that. I'm not sure how much higher his ceiling is. Like, his body is already that of a freaking 10-year vet, of just a man-child. Now, can his skill set get better? Of course. No question about it. Okay. And I was the one who, out of everybody in the draft, I was like, if they don't take Banchero, they're crazy. All right. He, in my opinion, he could, and this is going to sound nuts, he could be anywhere between where he basically is a 22, 23 a game guy for his career, or the dude could jump to average 30. Like, he really could. I just don't know which one it is. And right now, I'll be honest. You said you had anxiety over this. That dude really gave me anxiety.
Jonathan, every time I watch him play, I see a little bit less vertical Blake Griffin, but a lot more skilled with the ball, Blake Griffin. Not that Blake Griffin wasn't damn skilled for 6'9", 250. He's damn skilled for 6'9", 250. I just see it in 20 means I get this dude, and he'll be at his mega super prime in years 8, 9, and 10. He'll be a 10-year veteran in his 20s, Jonathan. 10-year veteran in the NBA in his 20s. If you had to pick the over-under on all NBA teams for Paolo Banchero in the next 10 years, 4, 5? It's hard. It's impossible. It's like LaMelo Ball. It's like picking LaMelo Ball. Like, it's impossible to know.
It really is.
I have him here. I could be persuaded to move him anywhere between 14. I would never, under any circumstances, put Evan Mobley ahead of Paolo Banchero.
Right. Yeah. And I didn't have Mobley on my list.
Dude, a lot of people would. A lot of the talking heads would. I think that's silly because I've seen enough from Paolo Banchero to know he is going to score the hell out of the ball.
Yes.
Maybe he'll buy in on the other end. Maybe he won't. I don't know.
This is crazy. What I'm looking at right now is like, what was I thinking? And I've got Donovan Mitchell higher than this. Okay. I want to take Donovan Mitchell off my list and put Banchero where I have him. That's horrible.
Okay. Well, I'll give you one free replacement. Yeah. You get one free pass. That's your pass. You're taking Banchero from off your radar completely and putting him in.
21. He was 21.
I'm a great litigator. I would have been a great attorney if I was a real attorney instead of a real estate attorney. All right. I got Banchero 14. This next one was tough for me. Go ahead. Tell me yours.
LaMelo was 13 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got Embiid way back at 13. Jonathan's 29.
He didn't make my list.
Oh, he didn't make your list? Well, he's making my list because I know I got 5 years.
I don't know that.
You don't think? Okay. Because of injury history or just big men don't age well? Or
I think it's injury. I think he's heavy. I don't think he every other year it feels like he comes in heavier. I don't think he's ever going to win a title. And so I don't think he's a winner. Now, granted, if you said, let's pick the top 20 for the next 5 years, he'd most certainly be on my list.
Okay.
But you give me 10. I can't do it. Yeah.
It was hard. And this was the stuff that caused me anxiety is I'm looking at some of these guys, namely the guys that I think most people would consider 3 of the 4 or 5 best players in the world. They're all 28 or 29.
Yep.
And so you're looking at it and you're like, oh. You're like, I'm not even going to want Joel Embiid on my team when he's 39. He's going to be a problem more likely than an asset, a liability.
You want him when he's 34. I don't even know if you're going to want him when he's 34.
Well, we don't know that, but we know he's going to be all NBA for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, you're probably
And we don't know Paolo Banchero is, and we don't know De'Aaron Fox or Jaylen Brown or Brandon Ingram or you see what I'm saying? See what I'm going with?
Yeah, I do, 100%.
And then I know you like to take that next level of he's not a winner. And look, it's real easy to say that until somebody wins. You could have said it about Jamal Murray. He wasn't a winner. Jordan wasn't a winner for 7 years until he won for a whole decade. So,
I don't think he has the tendencies of a winner either, though. That's just me. I don't think his game is a winner. I think we've talked about it. We don't need to keep going over it. I don't need to keep going over it.
Yeah. Until he does it, he hasn't done it, and that's fair, and that's life, man. Until you achieve it, you haven't achieved it. You don't get the credit for it. You don't get the presumption that you can do it until you freaking do it.
That's right.
All right, give me number. Who was your number 13?
Well, 13 for me was LaMelo. Okay. And then 12 for me is Jaylen Brown.
So we still have not gotten to De'Aaron Fox for you.
Nope.
Oh, you're high on De'Aaron Fox. I'm high on I thought I was high on De'Aaron Fox. Okay.
I really like him. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure my number 12 is Ja. No, it's Zion. Zion and Ja are together. Look, I'm going to put them together because the way I feel about one, I feel about the other, even though one of them could eat the other guy.
I get it.
It might if you fry him. So I've got Ja Morant at 11, Zion Williamson at 12, and it's just a big red question mark.
Yeah.
Not because we don't know what their potential is. We don't know if they care. We don't know if they can stay out of trouble. We don't know if they can stay healthy. But look, if you throw all that out the window, it's like I feel like we're rehashing the same thing we've talked about with Anthony Davis for freaking a decade. It's the same freaking conversation over and over, and it just gets old. There's Ja's numbers. I mean, he's freaking good, dude. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's already made an All-NBA team. He was a Rookie of the Year. He's an All-Rookie. He's two-time All-Star.
Yeah.
They list him at 6'3", 174. I'm calling total bullshit on that. That is ridiculous.
6'1".
There is no way that guy weighs 175 pounds.
155, yeah. And then the other part for me is, like, you did probably honestly what you should do with those guys, and you put them in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
I went because I'm kind of an extremist, for those that don't know, from a standpoint of if you do some things that make me not feel like I can trust you on the court, then I'm going to really struggle to trust you. And so I dropped them all away.
Here's the other thing that's important about this exercise to remember is you're choosing not just a player that performs on the court. You're choosing the heart and soul of your franchise. You're choosing the player that is going to that mindset that your best player has is, for the next 10 years. That is going to permeate and infiltrate and disseminate amongst all the other players that come in and out of your franchise over the next 10 years. Do you want John Morant and Zion Williamson, or do you want Jaylen Brown, like one of the smartest people in the NBA? Do you want Jamal Murray?
I'll tell you this right now: if with Ja and Zion would never be that for me. Ja on the court. Oh, yeah, for sure. Mindset wise, but the stuff off the court trumps it to me. So I don't know. Just my thought. I get it, though. I get it.
Mind boggling how he can make such dumb decisions. If I was going to hedge risk, and this is where you hedged the risk and I took the risk, I do think Ja's upside is higher than De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that. I'll give you that. Yeah,
and he's a year younger, which is a little, it's a piece. It's just a small fraction. But who do you have at 12 and 11?
So I told you I had Jaylen at 12, and at 11 I have Jamal Murray. So we've covered all those guys. So you can just show it.
We can keep rolling. That's interesting. Yeah. Two low risk guys, and I have the two highest risk guys.
Well, Murray's a risk with the injuries. He is.
Not real. I mean, there's no reason to presume he's going to get injured again.
That's true. Yeah.
I got Cade 10th.
Love him.
You got him around there. You should have him around 8, 9, 10, if I had to guess.
Yep.
Okay. I got Cade at 10. I've got Cade ahead of John Morant. Again, having never seen him do the things that John Morant has done or the things that Zion Williamson has done, but I've also never seen him hump a porn star. I've never seen him have a eating problem. I've never seen him brandish a weapon twice in a 6-month period on Instagram or Twitter or whatever he did it on, TikTok. I see Cade Cunningham as a true lead guard, franchise mega guard in the Luka Doncic mold. That's what I see. When I watch him, I see the light-skinned Luka Doncic. That's what I see.
Grant Hill, not quite as bouncy. Grant Hill, I know was a 3, but ultimately he was their point guard.
He was a point,
right. So that's what I like in him too. But he's also, this dude right here is 235 now and rock solid and 6'8", and yeah, he's a different dude, man. I'm with you. I'm banking on this guy. I really am.
6'6", 220.
6'6"? Is he not taller than that? Anyhow, whatever. He's a rock, dude. There's no
6'6", 220 is a problem. That's Jaylen Brown playing point guard for you.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
All right. And apparently, by all accounts, it sounds like that select team, they said, hey, we want you to replicate, play like Luka Doncic against, our Team USA. And he was unstoppable and destroyed them.
Yeah. So he couldn't guard him. Yeah.
Yep.
Give me your numbers. 10 for me was Donovan Mitchell, but now is
Fred VanVleet.
CJ McCollum is 10. Yeah.
Oh, we haven't gotten to McCollum yet. I know that.
You know
you give me 10 years of McCollum. You give me an early 40s McCollum. I mean, you're asking for titles.
Well, now for me, 10 was Donovan Mitchell, but now it's Paolo Banchero. So
okay, good. Well, good. We're sort of on the same page. It sounds like now I have Paolo Banchero too low. I've talked you right into Blake Griffin 2.0.
You did.
No, I got Halliburton 9. Is that too low?
Well, I had him higher. Not much, but I had him higher. Yeah.
Okay. Who do you have at 9?
9, I had De'Aaron Fox.
Okay.
I like it.
Right now. I mean, I've got these guys 6 spots away. Yeah. I may have let 2 years age difference influence me too much. I'm thinking about a 35-year-old De'Aaron Fox versus it feels like to me that 33, 34, 35 is kind of where point guards kind of fall off, and because they can't get to their spot anywhere they want. Some of them continue to do it, the bigger ones, but some of them they hit that wall. Like we've seen Chris Paul hit a wall. He may be hitting it a little bit later, right? He might have been okay at 35 or whatever, but at some point those points, they can't get wherever they want, and when they can't get wherever they want, and they can't turn their back on people and like established position. Oof, it gets tough for little guys, and not that Tyrese Halliburton's really a little guy. How big is Tyrese Halliburton? How big do you think Tyrese Halliburton is?
I was going to say, I think he's like, is he like 6'4"? Is he that tall?
6'5", 185.
Yeah, he's really slim, but he's super long though.
Yeah, he's long. He plays bigger. He's thin. He's real thin. I mean, he's an inch taller than me and weighs about 12 pounds less.
He's got it though, dude. He definitely has it.
He does. And again, let's go back to this is the dude that is going to, his attitude is going to be so pervasive and matter so much for your franchise because he's your cornerstone. I think he checks every box on that. And I'll never forget, like, coming out, into the draft, it was all anybody was talking about. Even the talking heads, they were just fixated on over and over. Every GM was like, that might be the best interview we've ever had with the draft prospect. Like they repeatedly were saying that, more than one team. Yeah. So I like him, man. He's got a good smile. He's a good kid.
I do want to say this real quick. Okay, De'Aaron Fox to me, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but they're out of this entire list that we have. Okay, I would go through. I'm going to count like all the dudes in the top 6 for me are this. There might be 9 what I would consider killers, just assassins on the entire list. I think De'Aaron Fox is one. So I put a lot of weight into that. I didn't know if he was or not, but I watched him in the playoffs against the Lakers.
Well, you think Ja's won?
And
we know Ja's won.
I do think Ja's won.
Yeah.
But playing with a broken hand or whatever his hand injury was, I mean, I'm watching all that and I'm going, okay, this dude has it. So even if it's just the next 6 years, I'm willing to bank on it. So that's why I went there. But anyhow,
yeah.
Who is your number 8?
Who is your number 8?
My number 8 was Cade Cunningham.
Okay. Booker.
Ooh, yeah, it's a good one. I had him higher.
Really?
I really love Booker, dude. I really do.
He's still only 26. How about this? Booker's younger than freaking Jalen Brunson.
I know.
Seems
and
like
his game translates. His game translates.
He's in his 10th year in the league. 10th year. He's 2014 rookie. So this will be his 10th year in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was a young freshman.
He was the youngest player. I think he was the youngest player drafted for sure in his draft class because I think he was 18 for sure. Well, here we can look. Let's see. 19. He was 19 when the season started. I think he might have been 18 when he was drafted, though, dude.
It'll tell you his age.
Yeah, it says right there, 19.
Right.
But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so he's going into his 9th year. I must have miscalculated there. 2015 rookie. I said 2014. I was thinking he was Embiid. He's 2015. He's 2015 rookie. Yep. Just consistency, Jonathan, over and over. And then last year was actually even a step forward. He went 25.6, 26.8, 27.8. He's a knockdown free throw shooter. His 3-point percentage, it kind of dipped last year, but I think it felt like he was taking more, but he actually took less.
Yeah.
But he shot higher percentage. He got to the rim a lot more. I think he's starting to put a little physical, little more mass on him. He shot almost 50% from the field for the first time in his career last year, 49.4%. It's pretty good.
And bro, he
definitely has definitely got the it. He has definitely got it. Already made 1 All-NBA and 3 All-Star teams. All right, we don't need to talk anymore about Booker. I've got him at 8. You've got him higher. Okay, give me your number 7.
7 for me was Halliburton.
You'd really – okay. I got SGA.
Yeah. I have him on the list too.
SGA or Halliburton? Obviously, you have SGA higher.
I do. Yeah. So do you.
Yeah, I mean, I do. That's what I'm asking. SGA, Halliburton. This is building up to be a great Cajun Cardboard YouTube poll where I get to poll my the people that watch the channel and they chime in. This would be a great one. SGA, Brunson, Fox, Halliburton, LaMelo Ball. Choose one for the next 10 years to be your point guard. That's an awesome question. I bet you anything the answers are going to come back super varied. All right, who's your number 6?
6 for me was SGA.
How good is he?
He's freaking good, man.
How good can you be not being able to shoot?
Well, but the thing is, and I get that, he's got the
34 last year. Signs of life, Jonathan. 34% from three.
Strangest game in the league, probably. He really
Herky jerky.
And all mid-range, back to you, spins, this, that, the other, which is why I think now he is super bouncy. People don't probably, if you don't watch him, you don't know that. But he doesn't have to have it all the time.
Dude, 31.4 a game.
Oh, bro, on a team with, I mean, I get that they got some talent, but like, really? I mean,
well, they had no inside talent at all. Now they do. Jonathan, here's the deal. If you'd have asked me, can Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shoot the three ball, I would have said no. Not only can he not, he never has. Right. And last year he kind of took a step forward. I didn't realize he was 36.7, 34.7, 41.8 on 5 attempts a game.
Yep.
And then last year seems to be an anomaly. And then, the year before last. And then last year he said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to take half as many. He only took 2.5 and said, I'm putting my ass on the elbow. I am getting into that paint, and I'm either going to kick out or I'm going to shot fake and use my length, or I'm just going to rise up. He's got a great feel in that mid-range, super herky-jerky. Like Jalen Brunson's herky-jerky. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's herky-jerky, and he's 6'6", 180.
I want you to go look at a stat, and this is the telling stat, and this is why his game translates to playoff success. Go back up. Look at how many free throw attempts he had last year.
I know.
Look at his average per game.
10.9. Does that lead the league?
Bro, 95% on 10.9.
Oh, my God. He's a fantasy god.
Okay.
He is a fantasy god. Yes. Holy crap.
And look, here's the other 2.8 turnovers. Like, to me, I look at these numbers, okay? He shoots 90 from the line, 11 attempts, and only turns it over under 3 times, and he's got the ball the whole time.
The whole time.
Right.
Yeah. And he's got it in the middle of the floor primarily, honest to God. I mean, his point is I'm getting to the rim or the free throw line, right in that area, a little inside the free throw line. Here's why I was calling bullshit on John Morant's weight, because they're alleging that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander weighs 5 pounds more than John Morant. Yeah. That's simply not correct.
So
that is simply
one of two things is the case. John Morant weighs 140 or SGA weighs 215. That's it. It's one of those.
They are not 5 pounds disparity between those two players. That is a fact. Let's see. My number 6. Who's your number 6?
Oh, well, that was SGA for me.
Oh, Tatum.
Yeah, I got him a little higher.
I feel like you've got a lot of players that you haven't named yet. Are you – dude, we might have a problem here. I think you might have forgotten somebody. I think you might have forgotten somebody.
I hope I didn't. I
think one of my top 5s is not going to make your top 20 because you keep saying I got him, but he's higher. I got him, but he's higher, and I'm not seeing any of these players.
We'll see.
Okay.
I've got SGA 6. You have Tatum 6.
Okay.
I have 5.
Do we need to talk about Tatum? Tatum and Booker. Is that a conversation that we need to have?
I'd rather Booker. I really don't know. It's crazy. It's tough too because Tatum's a hell of a player, man. But
we haven't gotten to Booker or Tatum.
Tatum was 5 for me. So.
Oh, okay. Tatum is 5 for you. Okay. Is it a tough decision, Tatum and Booker?
It is a tough decision. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But you're going Booker.
I am. I think Booker scores more easily than Tatum does.
Yeah,
We've said that forever about Tatum.
Yeah. All right. I got Victor at 5.
Yeah. And I told you my deal with Victor. So
I not
Yeah.
You did not have him in your top 20 at all. You're honest to God telling me you're going to take Tyrese Maxey over Victor Wembanyama. You're honest to God telling me this.
I had Wembanyama 17.
Oh, you had him in there. Okay. I was thinking you didn't have him in there at all.
Nah,
okay.
You got to have him in there. Yeah, you have to. I mean, I told you he could either have been 17 or 1 for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
can you just give me – can I watch 10 games and then redo this? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you gave me 10 games – yeah, if you gave me 10 – if I saw 10 healthy NBA games of him playing with that shitty lineup in San Antonio, no offense to my Spurs fans, but they suck – I will know right away if Victor Wembanyama should be 5th or should be 23rd.
Maybe 5 games. Yeah.
Give me your number 4.
4 for me was Anthony Edwards. No, wait. Hold on. You're 4 for me was Anthony Edwards. Yeah, that's right.
I got Giannis 4.
Oh, I didn't put him in. He didn't make my list. Him and Embiid didn't make my list. But here's why. And here's my deal.
Stop.
No, just listen to me.
No, I don't want you to talk.
That dude's knee, I really think something's wrong with it. That's 100%. I really believe that. Now, if you told me last year, we talked about it a lot. If you told me last year he made it through the season healthy, he would have been second on my list, even at 28 years old. Okay. I really am concerned about his knee, dude. I'm telling you. You're asking me for 10 years, I'm giving one deal to a guy. I think there's a really good chance he's got like 2 or 3 years left, and that's it. I really do. Because the dude is the toughest dude.
Tell me, remind me, where did you go? You went to medical school where?
I'm basing it on what I saw last year, and I'm basing it on the fact that the dude is literally the toughest dude in the league, and if he's sitting out games like that, there is something seriously wrong with it.
I have concerns as well, but I've not heard from any sources that it is like a Brandon Roy situation. It does worry me that they chose to manage it the whole season. That did worry me. Like I would rather you go do whatever you need to do, go clean it up, and then sit out and then come back.
I want to be clear. It's the only reason, and I went extreme on it because if you told me Giannis has 3 or 4 more Giannis years in him, he'd have made my list. He'd have been high on my list. Okay. I don't think he does, man. I'm really worried about it. I'm being GM here. Right. And look, by doing this,
you're really hedging risk.
Me kick my ass for the next 8 years. Right. And maybe that's what it is, but yeah, I really, really put a lot into that because that was a struggle for me.
He's my favorite.
Yeah,
my favorite active player on my favorite NBA team. The issue is I have tried to remain objective with my perspective of him.
Yep.
Because I made a lot of money invested in his cards. So I do love the guy and I thank him. But I've always said he's not going to age well.
Yeah. I will not argue. I'm not even banking it on that, dude.
Yeah, I'm banking on that. I mean, I just don't think he's going to age well. I don't think 35-year-old Giannis I'm going to want 35-year-old Giannis over 29-year-old Jason Tatum. That's for sure. Let's just put it that way. So, but he's so damn good right now that if I can get 30, get him to 33 with this type of basketball, you see the end is near. I mean, he's 28, Jonathan.
I'm not worried about his age. I'm talking about his knee.
You think the knee's so bad? Like, what is there that they can't repair? They can replace the whole damn thing and he can play basketball.
Last year, not the way he was before.
Yeah.
Last year was supposed to be his revenge tour, and it was going to be that. And then this hit, I don't know, man. I'm probably look, I can't argue with him being on the list. I'm not arguing with it. I'm just telling you why I didn't put him on the list. Okay. And it was really difficult because I think he's 1, 2, or 3 in the world, period. That's it. I do. I believe that.
What's going on? That was July 5th. He had surgery, Jonathan.
I know.
Expected to be ready for training camp. This was in July now. Cleanup procedure in his left knee. Left knee discomfort right at the start of the season. Jonathan, part of the deal, he had a routine surgery on his left knee and it went great. Everything went as planned. We expect him back in training camp. He was supposed to play in the FIBA World Cup, but he is not, which makes me very happy as a Bucks fan. Thank God.
Yep.
I am going to go ahead and hang my hat on this. This is my theory, is that he is so damn stubborn that the people, upper management of the Bucks said, you need to get the surgery. And he's like, there's no way. I don't want that stigma. Remember how Pippen should have gotten the surgery before the season, that in the last dance, the final year of the Bulls, but he didn't, to screw the team over.
Yep.
I think Giannis is like, it's too late. The season started. We're going to have to manage it. It's not going to be, I'm hoping that's it. I'm hoping it's a meniscus deal. It sounds like, I don't know any other routine cleanup procedures other than a meniscus scope. Do you?
Yep. No.
What else is there? I don't know. I'm not a surgeon.
But look, I want to be super clear on this. I hope that the guy is top 3 in the world for the next 7 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I also recognize that Wembanyama could be in my top 5 right here. Right. So these were the 2 big struggles for me, but man, that really bothered me. And I hope it does make sense what you're saying. that he would just say, no, I'm not getting surgery right now. I'm not doing it. So
he's the guy. Like, he's the one.
Yeah.
Everybody else would be like, well, whatever you say,
Yeah.
doc. No, Giannis is the one that would say, no. I'm chasing history. I need numbers. I need wins. I need, I'm trying to be somebody.
Yeah.
I got Jokic third.
You had him third. I had Booker third. Okay.
Yeah. There's only one reason. It's the number next to his name is 28.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody is going to be great at basketball at age 38, it will be Nikola Jokic, because he already plays like he's 38.
Yeah.
He's just a genius. He's a genius on the field. I'm watching Messi play soccer in the MLS for Inter Miami.
Yeah.
And he kind of plays like Jokic. Like, he just is a master puppeteer, man. He's got it on a string. He's in total mastery of the game. He surveys the court, processes information better than everybody. The difference between Messi is he's one of the smallest people out there. Jokic is one of the biggest human beings in the world. He's. I don't think people really understand just how big the dude is. In fact, I think other than Embiid, I'm trying to think of somebody bigger. I mean, I don't know if what's your guy? Boban might be bigger, might weigh more. Obviously, he's taller, but I mean, Jokic and Embiid, I think, are the two biggest dudes in the league, right?
They are. Yeah, for sure.
Anybody?
No, I don't think so.
Wembanyama's tall. Wembanyama's tall, but I mean, he's not. You know what I'm saying? This was tough because, again, he's 28, and you're probably going to get 5 or 6 years. It's just the next two guys, I know I'm going to get 10 full years.
And you're bigger. Look, so I put Booker third. We don't need to talk about him anymore. I know who's going to be second for you is Anthony Edwards, if I had to guess. And I need to see a little bit more before I put him that high. But I have him 5, right? I had Anthony Edwards 5. And I get that. And Luka, of course, is number 1 for me too. But Jokic was 2 for me. And Jokic was 2 for me because I'm looking at it like this. In 10 years with Anthony Edwards, I think I'm going to get more in 6 years from Jokic.
Okay.
That's the way I look at it.
Again, I mean, I have them one spot apart, so you're damn right, man. Here's the other thing with Jokic is it's also quite possible he says he wins another title and he's like, you know what? I really like harness racing, drinking, square dancing, and tending to crops and living in Eastern Europe, and he leaves.
And so that's funny that you mentioned that, because when I was doing this, that was one of the first things that came to mind. And I was like, okay, do I put him at 12? Because
who's your 4?
4 for me was Anthony Edwards. And I put Booker 3, which
Who
I could
was
be
5 then.
5 for me was Tatum.
Okay, so just so they have them next to us, so you've got Tatum 5, I got Tatum 6.
Yeah.
I've got Edwards 2, you've got him 4. Yeah. I've got Booker 8, you've got him 3. That's probably the biggest disparity out of these guys. Yeah. You got Jokic 2, I got him 3. We both have Doncic 1. We both have Doncic 1. Is that a conversation?
No.
We haven't seen enough from Anthony Edwards.
Right.
We need to see Anthony Edwards jump this year. I honest to God, I see Anthony Edwards averaging 30 points a game this year.
I could see it. Here's the other issue with Luka, though. Okay, I think Luka could be drunk and fat and still be great for the next 10 years.
So the only thing that changes, the only thing that's going to change is he's going to start drinking.
Well, right. I'm adding alcoholism into it for him. Yeah, right. But I think that Anthony Edwards' game relies on athleticism. A lot of it does, right? So I think at the same time, Luka's game will age better. Just my thought. But look, hey man, I'm with you as to Anthony Edwards being that dude. I'm with you.
He averaged almost 25, 5.8, and I think he was a little bit better on the boards and sharing the ball than we thought. I didn't realize it was that good. I mean, he's also 46, 37, and 70, almost 76.
What are his free throw attempts? Can you see how many free throw attempts he averaged last year?
Yeah, because it's about to change a lot.
I think it is
5.
Yeah, he
half as many as SGA.
Yeah, and I think he'll bump up to probably 8 this year.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So
if he bumps up to 9 or 10, he's averaging 30 a game. Because
sure.
I mean, there's a trend there: 19.3, 21.3, 24.6.
Yep.
His field goal attempts, he still doesn't average 20 field goal attempts a game.
Yeah, all while playing with the biggest cancer in the league. So
stop it. Doncic plays with the biggest cancer in the league. Not really.
Right.
He's top 5. They're both top 5. We'll leave it at that. And by the way, when you say biggest cancer, are you talking which one? Towns or Gobert?
That's a good point, actually. You're right. Gobert doesn't have to have a ball.
That is what we've hung around Anthony Edwards. Hey, just take these two guys and go ahead and win a title, please.
Yeah, enjoy. Right.
Let me look at Doncic's field goal attempts. So Doncic takes 3 more shots a game, and he takes twice as many free throws. That's how you get to 30, Jonathan. You got to shoot 22 times a game and be pretty efficient, and you got to shoot 8, 9, 10 free throws a game. Yeah, just have to. There's no other way to get to 30.
He's got to be better from the free throw line, though, man. He's got to be mid-80s. There's no reason for him not to be. No reason.
We've always said he's a good shooter, but there's no evidence he's a good shooter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's definitely not a great shooter.
Are we saying he's a good shooter because he's white and he's from Europe? Or are we just assuming because his shot looks good? He makes hard shots. He makes tough shots. But honest to God, Jonathan, how many more? I mean, the guy's played, what is that, 180, 250, 320 games in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's never – well, he shot 49% last year, so that helps. That's pretty good from the field. But his three-point shooting, 32, 31, 35 is okay. 35, okay. And then dipped back to 34 last year.
But he shoots 8 to 9 threes a game.
So
no, but
your percentage should be better.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's
my point.
Well, here's the deal. Maybe the one thing we do need to give him credit for, the counter argument would be that he led the NBA in unassisted baskets, and it was.
Yes.
Did you see the percentage?
I didn't see the percentage, but I did know that he led it.
I think it's 76% of his baskets were unassisted. So that makes me think if he took 8.2 threes a game, I'm going to say 7.8 were probably off the dribble or off the step. You know what I mean? Off the step back.
Always step backs, yes.
Always.
Yeah.
And you and I both know how much harder it is to shoot anything off the dribble than it is on a catch and shoot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's part of the reason they think Kyrie can help him and help that team. And he probably can if they can ever figure it out. But I know this. As soon as things get crossways between them, it ain't coming back, man. You're not going to be able to put that one back.
Bro, they dropped from 4th to 11th after the trade last year. That's all I got to say.
I know. 4th. Well, they tried to at the end. What do you think about them at the end trying not to win so they could get Derek Lively at pick number 10 or whatever?
That's a great one.
Yeah. And I know you don't know who Derek Lively is. I know you've never seen. No, he's a tall project center from Duke, I think. I'm not even sure. Essentially, he's a guy that's really not going to matter this year, I don't think. Maybe in the long term he will, but I don't think he's going to matter this year. All right, that's our list, man. We were kind of similar on our top 5, I guess.
Outside of Wembanyama, yeah.
Yeah.
And Giannis. But Giannis, look, I get it. I'm with you.
Yeah, other than the fact that you didn't put the second best player in the world in your top 20.
Well, here's the deal. I didn't put him or Embiid in my honorable mention. I didn't even list them.
You didn't list Embiid. I just realized that.
I told you that. I told you why.
What do you? These guys are just going to get hit by trains? What are you talking about, dude?
No, if you're asking me, you said I want 10 guys. I want 10 years out of it. I think Joel Embiid, which as an MVP, it's pretty freaking good, is as good as he's ever going to get, and he's never going to win. Like, I'm banking it on that. Now, you look at it and go, well, what about Zion? What about Ja? Right, I get that. But there is still a chance for them. I don't think Joel Embiid will ever be better than he is right now, which is the top 3
MVP of the league.
Top 3 player in the world, okay?
I'll give you that. MVP of the league.
Yeah. MVP of the regular season, correct. The regular season.
Well, there's only one MVP. So.
Well, no. There's a finals MVP. And now apparently there's a Larry Bird and Magic Johnson MVP too. So,
What do those mean?
Those are the Eastern and Western Conference Finals MVPs. Do you believe that?
Oh, wow. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. They did last year. So, anyhow.
Okay.
You can say he's the MVP of the league, and there's no way if you gave 100 answers that he would be ahead of Nikola Jokic in any of those for the best player in the world.
I'm just telling you, he's got an MVP award.
Yeah. You're right. So does Karl Malone has 2.
Did Karl Malone get 2 or 1?
2. When Jordan played. Now, the second one was Jordan was gone, but the first one was when Jordan played.
Karl Malone has 2. Are you sure about that?
2 MVPs.
Oh my gosh, I
He
had
won
no
the strike
idea.
shortened season MVP in
Did he
90,
really?
whatever it was, 8 or 99. Yeah.
Holy crap, he's got 2 MVPs.
Yep.
He was the MVP of 2 All-Star games.
Karl Malone.
All-Star game MVPs are very, very important,
They are very important.
especially now.
And
Very
if I could think of a player that I would less like to watch in an All-Star game than Karl Malone, I'll let you know. I can't think of who.
Let me know, because that would be miserable. Throwing lobs he can't catch, rebounding the ball. I don't know. Awful.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, guys. That's episode 1 hour and 9 minutes. I told you this was going to run a little bit long. Sorry about that. Let us know who you would have. You don't have to go into great detail, but if we swung and missed on anything, let us know. Just be polite about it, or at least be polite to me. You don't have to be polite to the grandfather. But let us know who you would have in your top 5. Is there anybody that you would have in their top 5? Where are you at on Victor Wembanyama? Where are the people watching this at on Victor Wembanyama? Are you a risk taker like me? Have you seen enough to know he's going to be a franchise-changing defensive player, and maybe he could be a good offensive player or better than average offensive player? Or do you think the sky's the limit with this guy and he's going to be transcendent? Or are you an old codger who, what is the old saying? 2 birds in a hand make a feather better or something? I don't know. It's something that old people.
I've never heard that before.
That's definitely not it. Something about birds in a hand. 2 birds in a bush make a hand or something.
If I were that old school, I'd have Giannis on my list.
Yeah, that's right. You would have Giannis. You'd have had Caldwell Jones on your list. As always, thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. There they are. Stay positive in the hobby, and peace.